Hello, I'm Dr. Jensen, and I'm your professor for CCJ4934 or EUS4930 Terrorism. So this class is a criminology class, but because we study international terrorism, it's also cross-listed as a European studies class. But I tell people I have majors in this class from all over the university, anywhere from psychology, criminology, sociology, business, economics, European studies, international studies, law, history, biology, anthropology, so many, communication, journalism, history, just tons. So this class is very interdisciplinary. So I want you to feel like you belong here because obviously you have some kind of interest in terrorism. Studying it, not doing it, right? I remember when the dean first heard I was teaching this class, they said, this isn't a how-to class, right? I said, no, it is not. This is not a how-to class. This is an about class. So let's jump into our formal welcome. So I'm down here in the corner now. So again, welcome to class. You'll see this on our course main page, and some people ask me, what is this picture? What are we actually looking at here? And essentially this picture is the view outside of a nearby window of Ground Zero 9/11. So this is September 11, 2001, which obviously this year in 2021, we are hitting the 20th anniversary of this attack. Right now, instead of this pile of debris and all the tragedy that occurred that day, there is actually a memorial and museum that you can attend in New York City at Ground Zero. It's a very, very special place to go. I was there just a few weeks ago. So, yeah, this is actually what it looked like that day. So can you imagine looking out the window and there's this little flag, but that's actually a window pane, and you see that across the street, you know, all the destruction that happened that day. So that's actually a 9/11 photo that I use for my class. And by way of agenda, I wanted to provide, again, a formal welcome to Spring 2021, and provide class goals, expectations of you, what you should expect from me, and how to be successful, and kind of what this class is like. So this is just a brief background for me. This is a very fluffy picture of me. Hello. This is me wearing a bun today, but anyway, I did my PhD at the University of Oklahoma. That matters for this class because one of the very first attacks I studied in depth was the Oklahoma City bombing that happened in 1995. I've actually been to that memorial and museum as well, and I strongly encourage you to go visit that site. It's incredible, and you'll learn a lot about people attacking federal buildings and terrorism generally. But it was an incredible experience. I've been there 7 times. So that's really probably what attracted me the most to terrorism studies, was going to that site. So I have 2 master's degrees in addition to my PhD, one from the University of Louisville and the other from Southern Methodist University. My degree from Louisville is a social work degree. So I tell people this class can be kind of intense to take. We see things that are difficult to see, and certainly things that are very traumatic and kind of unnerving to witness. As a social worker, a trained social worker, I want to be sensitive to that. So if you find that material in class or content is traumatic for you, I mean, I do have military veterans occasionally that take this class, and they say, nope, I really can't do that. That's PTSD for me. That's a trigger. Please let me know. I've had students that have been involved in school shootings. I've literally had students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in this class. And there's some parts of the classroom material that is very, very difficult emotionally. So I'm not here to traumatize you or to make things overwhelming for you. So if you find that there's something sensitive for you to experience, please let me know. You will not hurt my feelings. I have all kinds of alternative assignments to work with you on. And I don't need to send you into new symptoms or more trauma from anything that you've experienced previously. I previously taught at BYU for over 7 years, and I was an associate professor there. But I came here to the University of Florida almost 4 years ago, specifically to teach research methods and statistics, and also this class. So this class was one of the classes I was very much asked to teach and offer. This is the only 100% terrorism class you can take on the entire campus. And that's exciting because, there are other classes and other departments that might have a module or a section or a unit on terrorism, but it's just one little part. We spend our time on terrorism for the entire class. And it's not difficult to make a class on terrorism interesting because it's some of the most extreme behavior in the world that we study. So I take a lot of pride in offering this class. This is a specialty class for me. It's an elective for a lot of people in their degree. But my highest rated course is social statistics. I actually bring some statistics into this class. We look at terrorism data and we analyze it, and it's pretty interesting stuff. So hopefully that's something that you'll look forward to with me. But that's a little bit of my background. I always like to remind students, and some of you that have had me before have seen this before, so you can kind of fast forward 10 seconds. I've recently completed a 100% online master's degree, so my social work degree from Louisville was online. All my practice was in person within drug court and juvenile probation, but my coursework was online. So I was on the other side of the keyboard taking classes just like you are now, and I use that experience quite a bit and draw from the things that I liked that my professors did, the things that made life really miserable that I wish they wouldn't do. And I try to make sure I use best practices in online instruction. So just realize that I'm open to feedback, and I've been you before, and I try to make this class very doable. Okay, moving forward. Again, this is just a little background on me, where I've worked, practiced, and partnered, and this is anything from actually being an employee of these agencies to doing grant work together or evaluation research, probation offices, drug courts, health and welfare, juvenile justice, shelters, prisons and jails, sheriff's offices, metropolitan law enforcement, and police academies, or what we call POST, Police Officer Standards and Training. So I've worked on the criminal justice side quite a bit, but also a lot of other areas that are related to criminal justice. So that's where a lot of my background is from. Okay, my expectations of you. You do need to use the textbook and films. I will briefly show you the textbook. It is right over here, if I can find it. Oh, sorry, it was right under my nose. Ta-da! Okay, so there are 2 editions of this textbook. I'm going to make my screen a little bit bigger now so you can get a better view. So this textbook is Inside Terrorism by Bruce Hoffman. This is the cover and what it looks like. You do need the 3rd edition. The 3rd edition is the most recent edition in 2017, I believe, was the year. Or it might have been 2018. 2017. It's from Columbia University Press. If you get the prior edition, the 2nd edition, you will not have a few chapters, because this one basically was extended and updated as of just the past couple of years. So we've waited for this new edition for 12 years. And I'm so excited. Bruce Hoffman is actually a professor of Homeland Security Studies over at Georgetown University, and you'll actually get to see him speak in class. He's an incredible lecturer, and he actually consults with Congress quite a bit on terrorism, as far as terrorism studies and funding, and does congressional briefs and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So get the 3rd edition of the Inside Terrorism book by Bruce Hoffman. The other edition has a totally different cover, and it looks like this, okay? So if you get the book that has basically a suicide bomber on the cover and Abu Ghraib kind of on the bottom, that's the wrong one. Okay, that's the 2nd edition, and it's old, right? So we need to get a little more updated. So you're going to want this edition here, okay? The one with the active insurgencies and the Charlie Hebdo stuff right here in this corner. Okay, so that's the textbook. Yes, you need it for this class. Order it immediately. I don't care where you get it from. You can get the ebook if you want to. So if you want the ebook, you can go to Columbia University Press and get an ebook to read on a device. But yeah, get this right away as soon as you can, because we're going to start reading in it immediately. All right, so that's the textbook. So we use a lot of films in this class as well, because terrorism is not just something you read about, it's something you witness. So the films can be kind of intense. I try to give you disclaimers and warnings ahead of time if there are intense scenes in the films. As you can imagine, there are. But again, let me know if that would be a trigger for you or any symptoms you may have. So again, you'll want to go through the lectures to complete your essays and assignments for the class. Be really hands-on and active in your communication. Communicate often and early for any help. I actually have a Google Voice phone number that you can call me. Yes. So it's a forwarding number that forwards to my cell phone, right? So basically, yeah, you can call your professor. I know that seems kind of weird because for some reason online learning is supposed to be hands off the professor, but that's not how I operate. Sometimes you need to talk with me or maybe chat or have some Zoom videos or just touch base or ask questions, and it's easier to do that in real time. So use my Google Voice number, which I'll show you in the next video for the syllabus. You can text me at that number, you can call me, or we can schedule a Zoom meeting. Now, if we're going to do an appointment together, please let me know in advance. And I tell people, if you call me or text me, please use good calling and texting etiquette and manners. I don't like to be awakened in the middle of the night or really, really early in the morning. So just make sure you're mindful of those things, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can. This is a 3-credit class, so make sure you do preparation on the skills, the reading, the films, the essays. You'll notice we do more quizzing up front and more papers on the back because we kind of have more material underneath us and we are a little more skillful later in the class. You'll probably be spending about 10 to 12 hours a week on average doing your readings, essays, assignments, quizzes, and exams. So that's just something to keep in mind. What you should expect from me. I should be able to respond to you within 24 to 48 hours, and I try to adhere to that as much as possible. Fridays are a little different because it's the weekend or if there's a holiday, but keep in mind this semester there is no holiday in February and there is no spring break, so it's kind of a straight shot to April. So let me know if you are observing any religious holidays or you're going to be out and maybe need some help with deadlines, or if you have excused absences or unexpected semester disruptions, especially in a pandemic, right? We need to be able to be flexible. I am available again for Zoom sessions or chats. My virtual office hours, I'm usually available at 9 a.m. every day, but mostly it's 10 to 1, but again, 9 to 12, it's kind of the same period of time. So mornings through the lunch hour, you can catch me. Afternoons, my schedule's a little bit tighter. So if you want to schedule something in the evening or over the weekend, or, that's fine too. We just have to know in advance. I am also here to provide reassurance for when you make mistakes, because that's how we learn, and that's why you're here. So if you don't do particularly well on a quiz, an exam, an assignment, reach out to me and let's go through it together. Okay, what to complete? This class is mostly short reading quizzes, some essays. We have 3 exams. They are not cumulative. So they just cover that material that we've done so far. And the last one is your final exam, and it's just on the last part of the class. There is no major paper for this class, and we have lots of shorter assignments that let you kind of flex your muscles into the concepts that we've been learning. How to be successful? Treat this class like a seminar course for your career, where you really get to sink your teeth into something really interesting, really specialized. So, of course, we do have to talk about theoretical ideas. We have to talk about methodology, how to study terrorism, how do we get after all this information. We have to talk about history, economy, politics. We have to talk about geography. We have to talk about culture, economics, business. So it can feel a little overwhelming having to cover so much ground. But again, you could spend whole semesters on just one of those things, right? I try to make sure we get good coverage and a lot of breadth, so that when we do go in depth, we feel very prepared to do so. Again, work ahead when you can. Be honest about what works and what doesn't, and make sure you dedicate time each week to the class and be very consistent. Most students that are successful in their online classes kind of have their homework day or their reading day, and they stick to that schedule, and it really works for them. So again, this class is asynchronous. You work at your own pace and on your own terms, and you just submit all your material and work by the deadline each week. And we'll go through that in the syllabus video. But essentially, that is basically our kind of class overview and welcome. And I will see you in the syllabus and Canvas tour video. So thank you for watching, and I'm excited to be teaching this class to you this semester. Bye-bye.